Welcome back, Pirate Crew. It's your captain, Yeehaw Yadam, and to wrap up this week's videos, we've got none other than Whitebeard. Now, Whitebeard, one of the first cards to get, punished in this game in terms of getting hit, restricted, ban list, whatever you want to call it, with the Moby Dick hit. So we won't even be able to, in the West, play the Moby Dick version of the Newgate deck. With that being said, after the hit, you would think that the deck would be gone. No, the deck still has very powerful cards, and all that happened was that the East transitioned towards the Straw Hat version, which is what we were already playing in the West anyways. So what really happens in set 3? Well, we get a Designated Searcher, a really powerful 5-drop, a way to get this guy more consistently, and just get to do a little bit of gaming. So I went ahead, altered the list a little bit from what is the regular variant that we have now in the West, and just made it a little bit more OP-03 related. Basically just added these total cards, kept the 2k counters really high. I kept up some sort of Straw Hat variant. You don't really have to play the Nami. I've noticed that this card isn't necessarily played in many of the Eastern decks, but I kind of wanted to see if she still really was able to be a playable card, as she still searches a good chunk of the deck. I think with this right here, we have a total of 18 possible cards from the Straw Hat version. Izo also searches another really hard amount. So if we have Nami and Izo in the deck, that makes Makino really live. We have Otama for our Whitebeard combo / Marco, so we don't have to play Vista, and it's just getting good. So without any further ado, let's get some games and let's see what this old man can still do. And we cue straight into the Whitebeard, huh? So yeah, I'll keep this hand. Seems pretty darn keepable to me. My opponent opts to go first because going first in this matchup is just the way to go, right? The most important thing that you want to do is just make sure that I can never summon this card. Really darn important. As you saw in my Zoro gameplay, I just hit him for 8s and 8s, and once he was able to not play this card, he goes into a position where, like, if he plays it at 0 life, it doesn't really do much. So, wow. What a starting hand. So I think I'm going to go and choose Izo over Nami, right? Because I want to go ahead and see. Unfortunate. Yes. We accept that. That means that this one won't whiff, right? So we'll go ahead and grab Ace. That's perfectly fine, I guess. And then we'll grab an Otama's hand. So not a sexy turn 1, but a turn 1 nonetheless. Yeah. Don't have many 2Ks in my hand, just have the double Otama, and that's not a card I necessarily want to go ahead and remove from my hand. So we'll see how my opponent chooses to play this. If he just attaches 2, goes 8, that's really good, but then he doesn't develop. That allows me to go double Nami next turn. If I can go ahead and slam a Marco, that's also pretty good. So if he goes 8, I probably take this one, but then after that one, I cannot keep taking hits. So I have to be very smart and cognizant of how I do these moves. He goes ahead and plays the Whitebeard Pirates and adds the OP-02 Marco, so he has a 4-drop, which is good. If he summons that on his following turn, that he's not maximizing Dawn, which is okay. Attaches 1, 7. I'll block this one because I can. If it was an 8, it'd be a little bit different. He keeps 1 up for no reason whatsoever. Me drawing this is pretty darn good. I will hit for 6. And then I'll get to play a card, so that's nice. So I at least was able to buy 1 damage. Next turn, if he just summons a 4-drop, it doesn't really matter. He's going to go ahead and give me a Thatch. Cool. I'll end turn, add another Nami. So yeah, the following turn, it's going to be Nami Gaming. I'm going to bottom deck so many Marcos. It's going to be awesome. Oh, these Izos really gave me the business, huh? That's all good. That just means they're saving the good stuff for later. Saving the good stuff. So this possible turn, the worst thing that can happen for me is a Marco removing the Izo, then he hits me for 6. I have to defend the 6. Like, you have to defend the numbers that just make sense to defend. And I just said that, and immediately I'm gonna have to do it, right? I just have to keep up with what I'm saying. So he's gonna have a lot of card advantage against me. Doesn't make sense for him to keep up a Dawn personally, but to each their own. This turn I'm gonna have to just punish him. I'm gonna go 8. He's gonna have to give me a guard point here, and then I'm gonna go 8 again. And then I'll probably play a Nami, play double Nami. There's no reason to keep up guard points. Yeah, he'll give me the guard point. I'll go 8 again. You can't block with the Marco, so you have to either take this hit or drop 2 cards. He takes the hit, so I'll go ahead and play Nami. Nami's gonna have to find me a 2k here. I mean, a Radical Beam is just fine. I'll deploy the other Nami, which will find me another Radical Beam. So that's something that he's going to have to deal with much, much later. And I'll draw a card. So looking really good. My following turn is going to be ace into this, right? And since I'm on the even curve, I will be able to keep a Radical Beam both times. So that's really, really nice for me. We'll see how he chooses to go about these turns now. But he hasn't defended. He's now at 7 Dawn, so he has to ace me here. If he doesn't ace me here, then he's in a really bad spot. But if he does ace me, then I have the ace to answer his ace, which is always really nice. So let's see how he plays out his turn. If he goes ace, swing, swing, that isn't really dealing damage to me, which is really, really good. Because I could defend it, but I probably won't, if I'm being honest. Probably won't defend it because I don't have double Whitebeard. If I had double Whitebeard, then I would, because double Whitebearding at 2 life is ridiculous. And probably will catch me back up into this game. But since I don't have the second one and I bottom decked one, I can Whitebeard at 1 life. That's perfectly fine with me. I don't see him being able to deal damage. So it's going to come down to the Whitebeard War. He's going to have to summon a bunch of those bad boys against me. He goes ace, yeah, just as predicted. Yep, that's perfectly fine. And he's going to go 6 on 3, 7 on 6. Yep. And he has to pressure me. He could also leave his ace alone, which I don't think is correct. I'm going to take. And he's going to pass. Cool. Draw Dawn. Oh boy, now we're just super gaming. Holy moly. So I'm going to use it on these characters. I'm going to go 6 at 4. So he's going to have to give me 2 cards here. And then probably won't give me 2 cards. He's most possibly, he's like forced to Whitebeard next turn. So, oh man, he gave that to me. That's so crazy. I can just do this now. And he's forced to block this. Or lose the game. Either or, I don't really care. Yeah, block, remove a card from your hand. And then he goes Whitebeard, pass. Whitebeard swing here. Ooh, if he swings here, that's so bad. Like, so bad for him. That's so slow. It drops a Thatch. You got it, boss. So then I'm going to Whitebeard all my Dawn up. And then I'm going to go back to back on him. And I do have, if he misses 1 turn of Whitebearding, then he's going to be in a really bad spot because I have the Otama to do my Whitebeard. And I have an ace on the board, which he does not. If he also just doesn't have Whitebeard here, that's really bad for him. Now, I did like just play all the cards I could from my hand, but there's just a lot of pressure on the board. And even though he has this Marco, not really doing much. And these cards, if I don't have to remove this Machino from my hand, are going to be really, really cool. They're not great in this matchup, but imagine this was like a Zoro. These cards could possibly swing, but in this matchup, it's really hard for them to. It's 2 Dawn investment to take a 1k out of their hand. Not great. So yeah, and that's how you... These matchups are very unfun. This is why, even though I did play this deck in a major tournament, I didn't choose to do it again, because it just feels very like everything is telegraphed. And if they just don't have it, then it's like, get bodied, man. So he doesn't have the Whitebeard here, which is super bad for him. You know, 6 at my life, and that's just not going to fly. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Unlucky. 7 at lead. Give me a 2k. And I'll take out Izo this time, just because. Then I'll go here. He'll have to give me a Rad Beam or a block. That's also fine. Either way, he has to give me a card. Every time I declare an attack on him, he has to give me a card. So there goes a Rad Beam, and then I don't have to take my life. I keep 1 up. I have a ton of 2Ks in my hand. And now I got this guy on the board. And I don't have to do anything next turn. It's just, the deck really just plays itself. That's, again, kind of one of my biggest gripes with it. Because next turn I'm just going to play out Newgate again and do the exact same thing. Just turn my 3 attackers sideways. And then he's going to have to give me a ton of response. And if he doesn't give me the correct response, then he just loses. And then he has to hit my face, which is really spooky, right? Because if he doesn't, if I don't have the 3rd Whitebeard, then like I just take it. If I do, then I defend it. It's so bad, man. It's like, it's such an uncomfortable position to be against. And I've been there many, many times. It's kind of like doomed if you do and doomed if you don't. And you kind of have to play this mind game with your opponent. You have to look them in the eyeballs. Like, Does he have the second Whitebeard? Does he have the third Whitebeard? I put him on having 2. And that's the thing. If you don't guess what they've got, then you're going to be in a bad spot. And that just ain't it. That just ain't it, Chief. I have 2. I have 2K. I'm an 8K. Well. Yeah. We'll play another one because, yeah, that just wasn't a real game on the simulator. Katakuri, cool. So this is now a different matchup. We don't have to play this one becomes a little bit different. I like different because that means that we get to see how it interacts with other decks in the meta. That's a matchup that has already been played many times before, and it's not someone that I was very surprised to see how that outcome went. So I play Nami. Nami's gonna go ahead and search for me a 6K. This Marco is not a bad card. You can just summon it early, but I opted not to. Now on my turn, I don't really have much that I can do, so I will do this. Is a really classic play that I enjoy. Go 5. Turn these guys into cards, right? Because this Nami is good. I can play this Nami out and hit him for 7, or I can just remove 2 cards out of his hand. He gave me a 2K, so sheesh, that was value. Yeah, these Namis are good now, but they'll be just as good later, honestly. He's going to go ahead and probably hit me for 7, and I probably will accept this 7, mostly because I don't have any 2K in my hand. So I'll accept it, no trigger. He goes Pero Sparrow, that's just not a real card versus me. I have 5 Dawn, so at 5 Dawn, I can probably play a 4-drop Marco and then keep up 1, but that just doesn't seem efficient, right? So the most efficient use of my Dawn is just applying pressure. Then if he wants to come at me, he can. I do now have 2Ks. I don't know why he's defending so hard. Here we go. So I can just take this game as slow as I want. And now if he wants to like swing at me with the Pero Sparrow, he's taxed the Dawn. He's taxed the Dawn because of his Katakuri, and so on and so forth. I do have a Whitebeard, and I would like to summon this card down, but I also do not care if I don't get to, if that makes any sense. He goes 6 at my lead, which will just take one of these cards out of my hand. I don't think I'll be able to play 2 of them this game, just seeing by the way that this guy's playing. Alright, 5. I take a damage next turn, I defend, I clear, and then I go Whitebeard. Is that good? We'll see. My next turn is probably summon a Marco, summon like Namis and Izos and swap them for 2Ks or Radical Beams and then just pass. He can go 7. He's going to play a 4-drop. 8. If he goes 8, that's fine. I just ignore that Whitebeard's a win condition in my deck. And I'm perfectly fine with that one. He goes at my Luffy. It might defend it. What did he look at? Looked at opponent's life, and I left it at the top. I actually will defend this Luffy. I don't... You can't really do much more to me in this game. Say, summon a Brûlée. That's perfectly fine. So... Go 7 at the Pero. He just takes... I mean, he just lets the Pero go. Let's see what he adds off the Sparrow. That's a fun name to say. Pero Sparrow. Strusen. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know what that card is. So that's kind of cool. I'll swing here for another 7. He takes. Broken. Gets a trigger. Oh, that's nice. He gets to draw an extra card. But, doesn't really do much. I guess I do get to just summon Marco then. Marco this card away, which is nice. Or I Marco the blocker. This card would be okay if he 8-drops it back to his life, but if he does that, that's great. Oh, he Charlotte Linlands and that. So I'm actually going to get to Marco this, which is really nice, and then I'll pass. He let me keep guard point. It's really bizarre. I would have put that to the bottom. And next turn, I can Whitebeard if I just defend, but I probably won't defend. I can get to play a little bit crazy here. Don't really need to do anything. I have a lot of board advantage. Because even if I do play Whitebeard, he can just 10-drop me on the following, which is what's really nice about yellow. Doesn't really need me to... Leads me to a board state where this card isn't an automatic win condition. So, that's cool with me. So he goes 5 at 6. It's pretty dank. And then he's gonna 8-drop this into my life. That into his life. Sure. Yes, sir. He gets to trigger it again. You got it, man. That's a nice play. That's kind of cute. It's to go Mama 8 on me, which is really do nothing, right? And then I get to develop and I have a 10k on board, which is really nice. So we'll see. We shall see. He most definitely cycled enough because of this Shirahoshi straight into the 10 drop. So Shirahoshi should be able to go ahead and do that. The issue is if he doesn't 10 drop me, whoa Nelly, is he in a bad spot. He's gonna go 5 at my lead. Very dank. And then 10 drop. 10 drop. It's kind of cool that this card can become either heal or not. It goes 8k. I do believe that this is better than this, so I will defend with this. And now he just... Okay. Draw Dawn. Now, I gotta declare my attacks pretty correctly here. I have to remove a threat no matter what, so this card's probably getting removed. I have to think about how I do this turn. Probably 2 Dawn here. Swing here, destroyed this. This goes immediately. There's no way he can defend this comfortably. And then I just 7/7/7 this. Keep up Dawn, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, cool, man. Maybe I don't even have to 7 him. Maybe I can get away with 6s. Let's see how it goes. So we'll 6. We'll go 6, 7, 7. Keep up 2 Dawn for these cards. He took the 6. That's crazy. A trigger possibly? Oh, he hit Thunderbolt. That's annoying. That's actively annoying. So that means then... Sure, I will use action, remove this to summon, to pop. Ha ha ha. Got him. And we'll go 7. We'll attack for 7. And then I'll go Nami. Another trigger? Wow. Sure. Deploy into a 2k. Deploy over a Nami, and I'll pass. So very solid turns from my opponent. That Thunderbolt into Sovereignty, and that's kind of like the stuff that gets a little bit obnoxious with the yellow deck, that situations like that can occur. He can never drop the 7-drop ever again, because I will just ignore its ability. I guess he can just summon it for a big body, but at that point he's not really applying pressure, which is kind of an issue that he has to fall into. Very important card for him to summon right now is Charlotte Katakuri, and he's going to have to Katakuri this, but then that doesn't really do much because I would just take that life anyways. So he's in quite a bit of a pickle. Doesn't have a really easy clear to my board, and the majority of my board is just Immortal. The only card that isn't is this Luffy and this Nami, I guess, but out of my sideways cards, it's just you. And even though he does have a 12k on the board, which, rightfully so, terrifying, we just have to ignore it entirely and just hit him in the face. Usually how Whitebeard wins, right? Ignore, 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 face, face, face. And we'd have a way to swap my entire hand into heavy counter power cards and very just powerful cards in general. So Izo will probably look for another one of this Marco or a Jozu. Nami's looking for Radical Beam. So not a bad spot to be in. I didn't have a crazy good opener either. So we just played this conventionally, using our aggression wisely. So he's going to go ahead and attach a Dawn to his leader. Attach 2 Dawn. He looked at his own life, and he left it at the top. Swing for 8. So he has 2 available. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Right? Because I want him to just have to deal with my board. I want my board to, yeah, you can heal me if you want, brother. Not a problem. You've got it, chef. So that's a solid move on his part, right? Because now I burn this and I don't have a blocker. So he has to also state in this point in time that I'm not going to declare 4 attacks on him, which I probably won't, especially because I have Anami as one of my attacks. So I have to really think about my turn. And if I can just push this down, which I may be able to, I first have to find cards off the top here. So I am able to find my Marco, which I will play, and I still have all of this Dawn available. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Dawn available because I have to keep one at the end of the turn. So 4, if I go this, right? No targets, so he's going to have to give me his entire hand. Sure, he's got it. Then this will go here. And this just can't be Thunderbolt. I guess I should have played this last, right? Because if this is Thunderbolt, I just immediately lose the game. Wow. Interesting. Because I probably should have swung with these as well. Pitch, pitch. He's now got a lot of 2Ks probably in his hand. I'll go ahead and swing here again. We're in the same board state. He just has another attacker. And I'll pass. So same board state, different issues. Right, he now has to go for game this turn, which is very possible. The way he played that last turn was very, very good, and he's just hit the nuts, hit the nuts in life, which is exactly what you want to see. It makes for an interesting game. So let's see how he closes this one out. Now, he's still. I don't have a lot of counter power, right? Having a 12K on board is terrifying, right? If he does just Thunderbolt in hand, which is a possibility, right? He does seem to run that card. Yeah. He Thunderbolts, KOs this. Yeah, he most certainly has game at that point, right? I have to let this go. He goes 7, 8, whatever. So 3, 7 on this. This is 19, and I definitely can't counter out of 19 with just 1 Dawn up. There are universes where this deck can, but not this one. He's going to play another Mom. Weird. Yeah, that's his only play here. It's just, it seems like it's just going to be summoning another Mom and praying. So he's going to go down to 1 card in hand. Alright, and then he has 3. This is troll. Resolve. Use card action. There goes Mom. Yep. So I have to hit 4 times. Can I hit 4 times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very possible. With 1 card in hand, it's extremely possible too, because I can make it so that he can... yeah. I mean, I'm just going to go for it. There's no other... I mean, if he hits like a card that's absolutely bananas here, I lose. So 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Now he can't Thunderbolt my board, which is really, really nice. He's played so many 2Ks that, like, I don't even think he can defend this one. If he can defend this one, then, like, you got me, chef. Maybe it should have been 10, 11, but that's fine, too. Oh, he can't. Poggers. That could have also been a Sovereignty, and I would have lost to it, which is fine. I don't think he can combo out of 12. Select this. Bye, mermaid. Yep, yep. And peace out, homie. Opponent has disconnected. So even with obnoxiously powerful triggers and very powerful cards, 2 Katakuris, 2 Big Moms, Whitebeard is still the Whitebizzle. And yeah, I'm excited to see how we develop this deck in the West, because we love playing cards like this. So if you guys like this sort of content, I hope you enjoyed this week's weird little format of game, deck profile stuff. So if you guys like this sort of format better than what I was doing before, make sure to leave a like and a comment saying, yeah, we'd rather prefer these shorter videos. And as always, guys, if you like this sort of content and want to see more of it, I am continuing to produce that One Piece content for you guys. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next One Piece content. That was me trying to be a YouTuber. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.